Before we dive in, a quick shout out to the community that makes this possible. This show is brought to you by the You Run Podcast Network, a space where everyone is heard, loved and welcomed. To support the creators and find your next favourite show, please visit yourunpodcast.com.
You want to die tonight?
Late at night, I tune into your show, where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in, as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Marc set the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's fucking long roundups. You run podcast, horror movie review, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled. You run podcast. You run podcast.
Hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast. My name is Scott
My name is Kate.
and we are your hosts today as we bring you a review of Alien 3. We're an interactive horror movie review show where you pick the movies on our Instagram page, which is at You Run Podcast. You also get involved in interactive features and 3-word review and voicemails and lots of other things. We also have a quiz today where Kate is going to be taking on Meltdown. If you're wondering where Marc is, Kate is effectively the boss of the show, and Kate and Marc had a conversation earlier today where Kate said,
Gone. Fired. Out of here. Ain't nothing I can do for you.
so yeah, Marc's not with us. Kate, why did you fire Marc?
I mean, quality control is really important to me, and he just wasn't keeping up. I think we need to raise the level a little bit, and yeah.
Yeah,
Had
so
to go.
this is effectively my performance review. Dear God, I hope I do well. If not, next week this show will be brought to you just by Kate.
Yes.
No, Marc has not been fired. Marc is, how do we put it delicately?
He's indisposed.
He's
in another
indis-
room in the house.
Yeah. Call into the show. Guess where Marc could be. He's not here when he was genuinely excited to talk about this movie. Like, this was top of his list of ones he wanted to do this year. And he's like, oh, I'm really excited. This morning he's like, yeah, no, I can't be there. It's not good enough.
It's a shame. Yeah, I know how much he was looking forward to it too. It's maybe we can do an Alien 3 take 2.
Maybe, or maybe we could just fire Marc.
Yeah, well, we can do that too.
Today we're taking a deep dive into Kate's pick. So Kate used her super duper duper boss powers and went, do Alien 3. I don't want a poll, I just want Alien 3. And we agreed. This film takes place straight after Aliens, despite a 57-year gap in time. After they crash land on a prison planet for no apparent reason, Ripley finds herself on a planet full of rapists, murderers, paedophiles, and no, it's not Washington DC. That's going to get me in trouble. I'm kidding. With one face hugger on the loose, question mark, maybe two. This begins the process of a xenomorph being added to the mix. Not just any xenomorph, though, a dogomorph, as this one takes on the likeness of a dog. This film is a lot of fun and directed by arguably one of the greatest directors of a generation. I really enjoy this, but I want to be really clear with today's review. I like this film. I'm going to give this film a good score. But my God, I am going to tear it apart limb from limb for its plot holes, its terrible script decisions, its PlayStation 2 level CGI graphics of the xenomorph, and the missed opportunities that are far too many and far too vast not to be covered. The studio is going to undoubtedly take a lot of my wrath today because two things. One, they nearly destroyed David Fincher's career before it even began. and 2, they nearly destroyed the Alien franchise because they didn't know what they were going to do and just plowed ahead anyway. But despite all of that, I do really, really like this film. It's like, we could fill an episode just on the bits I like, and we could do another episode just on how much the studio messed this up. I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5, but that could easily become a 4 or 5 out of 5, depending on how our conversation goes. Where are you with this, Kate?
I would, yeah, I really do love this movie. I have to say it's grown on me over time. And I do understand why people are a bit harsh on it, because it really did follow up from 2 utterly perfect movies. It was a hard act to follow. It was plagued with issues in production. And, you know, there's a lot against it. There was no reason for it to come out actually as good as it did. I do feel that, look, I will never begrudge someone their opinion about a movie. There's movies that people rave about that I haven't been that big on. And I really do think each to their own. But I do feel like with this one, it's almost like people feel like it's the right thing to say that it's crap or that it's terrible. It's like, you know, people that say they hate cats, and you're like, why do you hate cats? And, oh, because my dad hated cats and my uncle hated cats. Spend some time with a cat, you might find you really like them. You know, it's kind of like that. But with this movie, I feel like revisiting it with an open mind, watching the assembly cut, definitely.
The
And just
assembly
seeing it.
cut makes a difference for sure.
It does. It really does. And there are some performances in here. And I think if you're a Game of Thrones fan as well, you should go back, because for reasons, there's some really great performances. There's some really great story, you know, and I mean, David Fincher, anyone who listens to anything I've been on knows that I absolutely adore him. He's my favorite director. And there are some extremely beautiful shots in this movie. It does look a bit like a music video in some parts, but unsurprisingly with David Fincher. But I think he did a really great job. And I don't know, I feel it deserves more love. So I would give it, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, and I think these are fair scores. And what you say about David Fincher and the incredible shots, like, one of the most iconic shots in the entire Alien franchise happens in this movie, and it's the xenomorph coming in close to Ripley.
Yeah.
The studio told him he wasn't allowed to film that scene. They said, no, we don't want it. And he actually took Sigourney Weaver and went, come with me, and disappeared down a corridor and filmed that scene anyway. And now, like, if you show that scene to multiple people, like that shot of like the xenomorph breathing right down her neck, so many people don't even realize it's from Alien 3.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, good on him for doing that, and good on her as well. She's brilliant. I love her position in this and how it all came to be. So I'm glad we're going to be talking about all that. And there's some really big shots where it's just one person in their long coat, and it's a really big, like, sprawling shot. And I think it's beautiful. I think there's some really beautiful things about this movie. And there's some bits where you just go, oh, freaking hell, that's terrible. But you know what? I don't care. Nothing has to be perfect for me to love it. So
no, and I think as a general rule for this movie, set design is great. Characters are great. All of the cast do a really, really good job. The problem purely lies with what they were given to work with. And I know that David Fincher was literally arguing daily with the studio. The writer who was on at the very end, the one who was finishing the movie off, he was getting calls almost hourly from the studio, to the point that David Fincher would ring him once, let it ring twice, hang up, and ring him back, so he knew it was him and he could answer it safely.
Oh, God.
Like,
yeah.
It's if you're on a movie and you're in a situation where you need to have a code to call your writer because they're being harassed by the studio so much, you know you have a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think in the research that I was doing for this, because I watched the assembly cut, then I watched the theatrical version, and then I forgot to take notes during them about the differences. So I could get, in my head, I may get the two of them mixed up. So I'm sure you'll keep me on track there. Honestly, a lot of what I found was about the pre-production and about all the dramas that plagued it. And I didn't actually know about the teaser trailer where it said, on Earth, everyone can hear you scream. And it gave everyone the impression, because I did go, I saw this when it came out. Now, so I was 14 the year it came out. I turned 14. I cannot remember if I saw this at the movies or not. I had already I watched Aliens first, then Dad told me about Aliens, so I watched that. So I was excited for this, but I have no memory of whether I saw it at the movies or at home. But so I would have been 10 or 15.
Yeah, I think this was a VHS find for me. I think this was one that my dad had in his collection, and I was like, oh, I've seen the first two. Let's give this a go. But I like this one. This one it's bonkers, but this is kind of where the Alien franchise goes from here. Cameron set the standard by going, it doesn't have to be a moody horror movie. We can make it something else. And then everyone after that just done their own thing. Like when we get to Resurrection, it's like, who cares? Let's have space pirates. Let's do what we want now.
And butterflies.
Yeah. Right. Let's take a quick break before we dive into our full review on this one.
Mama Mary on the left side, Spookster Neo on the mic tonight. Family Frights podcast, laugh till you scream, then laugh. Mama and her spooky son, put the fun in the family scare. Family Frights podcast, ghost stories, giggles, gaps. Mama Mary, Spookster Neo, this is where the cozy chills grow.
Turn the lights down, turn the volume up. If the call's from inside, we still pick it up. From cursed VHS to the thing you just streamed, we're your loud best friends inside your screen. This is horror friendly, poor and strong, talk deadly. Drinks and jokes get messy, cuss you out so gently. Horror friendly, yeah, we dive in heavy. New and old, get ready. Press play, don't tempt me.
So please go to yourunpodcast.com and check out all of the other members of the You Run Podcast Network. You'll also find Kate appears on many of the shows on the You Run Podcast Network. Kate is like a You Run Podcast Network guest professional now. So you've been on Pop Culture Reflections. You're going to Eat That Crust. I think you've been somewhere else as well.
Yes. Yes. I'm having a mental blank. Oh my God. I would be great in the quiz later. I think network. I've been on a couple of shows, but not all network shows. So
You've been on quite a few recently.
Yeah. I have actually. This month I'm doing, I think, 2 episodes a week. So, but a lot of them are for pop culture and for You Gonna Eat That Crust, for the pizza bones. So yeah.
That's a lot. Like that's a recording schedule that's coming close to rivaling my own.
It's been busy, but it's been lovely.
Yeah, I think the thing is, once you get the podcasting bug, it sticks with you, and once you've done it once and you have a good time, you'll continue to do it, which is why I'm still doing this 5 and a bit years after I started. Also, make sure you rate and review us. You can do that on Apple. You can do that on Spotify. You can also do that on YouTube by leaving us a like or a comment. Go and check out our Patreon as well, because then you get awesome powers like Kate, who goes, I don't want a poll. I want a movie. Do the movie. And we just go, okay, Kate, whatever you want, Kate.
You can get all bossy. It's great.
The thing is, like, there are certain people within the Patreon, I'm not going to name any names, Dave B Movies, who's like, do this, and we just go, yeah, okay, it's fine, we'll do that, we don't mind. So go and check out our Patreon. It also helps us make the show better. It helps us get new bikes. It helps us do other things. Like we're planning on a couple of meet and greets this year that we've not officially announced yet, but the money that Patreon gives us allows us to do things like that make the show better for all of you. So yeah, go and do that, and go and check out yourunpodcast.com and all of the other Patreon members, all of the other network members. Let's dive into this. I want to start off with, who in their right mind decided to kill Hicks and Prue, and why were they not fired?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that, and because I was trying to envision a movie with Hicks and Newt, and I don't know, because we already had Aliens with where the focus for Ripley was this child and keeping her safe. And as much as, and I did find out that there was a script, they had the 2 scripts going, one with Hicks and one with Ripley, because they were trying to get Sigourney Weaver to agree. And smart lady, she agreed for some for some good conditions. And I just feel like keeping them would have, Yeah, I don't know where the story would have gone. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that they could have merged them?
I'm not sure where the story would have gone. I think for me, more so for Hicks than Newt. With Hicks
Mm,
was the only person who's ever listened to Ripley. Like, he
yes.
literally went, You're right. You are absolutely right. I'm going to back you." And
Yeah.
he was genuinely a nice guy. He was very, very heroic, and
Mhm.
they did not give him a death that he deserved. Like, he was just impaled by part of the ship. It wasn't like, let him survive, and I don't know, like, go a darker route with the prisoners. Have the prisoners attack, and he die saving Sigourney. Like, do it that way. Or like with Newt, Newt, I'm not as bothered about. Like, Newt is in Aliens, Newt is the focus and the bit that gets you the most nervous, like the scene where the xenomorph drops down behind her. You're like, oh no. But
Yeah.
I don't know how well. I think it's very difficult to put a child on a planet full of pedophiles and not tread
Yeah.
some very dangerous ground.
That would have been problematic. And I think the girl who played her might have aged up as well and aged out of the role because it was meant to be pretty much instantly, like not straight after, but they were in cryosleep. So she wouldn't have grown. And I think she did because it was what, 5, 6
5
years?
5
Yeah.
years 5 years later, yeah, so she was
Yeah.
they would have had to recast her, and
Yeah.
again, like, how well I'm not a big fan of recasting. I know Mark's not either. When they recast someone, you sort of go, "Ah, well, it's kind of the same, but it's not. Like, you're not how I remember you, and you're different now." And it's
It's
almost like you
distracting.
yeah, it's
Mm.
almost like you need to get attached to the character again because they're a
Yeah.
different actor.
Yeah.
Um like, I like the opening of this, like the crash landing, I think is very cool. I also like the fact that where Ripley lands. Like, there was multiple script ideas for this. So one of it, they were going to land on a religious planet,
Mm.
all going to be monks, which I think would have worked.
Yep.
But this, I like the idea of the prison planet. I don't know how well I like the inclusion of the prison planet being the worst of the absolute worst in the entire galaxy, and they've all found, like, 1990s Christianity. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I think that was. I mean, I guess maybe it was a holdover from the whole monk on the wooden planet concept, and they
Yeah,
kept them being this. But the what I found really interesting was, you know how they say it's a double Y planet, double Y
yeah.
chromosome planet, and back then there's this that still exists, but this genetic condition called Jacob syndrome where men have a double Y and it makes them quite tall, and they thought it made them aggressive.
Oh,
So they
okay.
kind of played on that, and it turns out it doesn't make them aggressive, but they are quite tall, people who have this genetic condition. So they kind of I went down several rabbit holes on this, and I was quite surprised because I thought I've never actually noticed the double Y chromosome thing before, but yeah, I thought that was quite an interesting little story part. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of little interesting things in here like this as well, and I think one of the things they do really well is they manage to make these group of, let's be honest, horrible, awful people. They make some of them likable, or not even
Yeah.
likable, some of them redeemable.
Yes.
Some of them not so much. The group that tried to attack Sigourney Weaver, like, they all needed to die horrific deaths, and
Yeah.
I was not satisfied by how they went out. It needed to be more.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think one thing that they do excellently in this is the law around, like, the planet, and the fact that they've given the religion, and the way they've controlled the environment by basically going, look, they've all taken a vow of celibacy, which gives
Mhm.
the illusion that Sigourney Weaver's a little bit safer than she actually is.
Yeah.
But they also very much play into, on this planet, you are in danger. We've called
Mm.
someone to get you because you're the only woman here. No one's seen women for years and years and years. Not
Yeah.
even Tywin Lannister. He's not seen a woman for years.
God, he's handsome in this movie. If you are thinking about going back and watching this, just do it for Charles Dance's performance. He's so good in this, and he's very, very handsome. And I know that's not important, but it can be important. And I just was really mesmerized by him this time. He's so soothing. And I just, because I'm used to seeing him being such a prick. And I was like, oh, that's right. He's a really nice dude. I think he's great. I really like Pete Postlethwaite. I loved him in so many movies that he was in. And who is the person that plays? Oh my God, I can't think of his name. I will think of it in a minute. Keep going. Sorry, there's an actor I'm trying to think of.
Charles Dance in this, I think, is great.
Yeah.
Like I was talking with someone the other day, and they're like, "Yeah, but Hicks has just died, and she jumped straight into bed with this guy, this doctor." I'm like, "Did you see him?" Like,
yeah. And she's been a while for Ripley. She's had 3 instances now of nobody listening to her. She's had a very stressful work environment, and if a handsome guy lands in front of you, then
yeah,
right.
like I literally said to the person, "Don't hate on Ripley because she went and got some." Like, like I do feel sorry for Ripley though, because she desperately wanted to be with Hicks, and that didn't happen. So
their chemistry was great. Oh, Charles S. Dutton as Dylan. That's who I'm thinking of. I really liked his character because he, when he's trying to be all like, I'm a murderer and rapist of women, and she's like, well, I must make you pretty nervous, and he almost immediately softens. And he's like, oh, okay, yep, you've given back a bit and you're all right with me, sort of thing. I like that.
The thing is that of all the people on the planet, he's probably the one I trust the most because he's literally so upfront. He's like, look, I'm a murderer. I am a rapist. I am not someone you want to be near. And my instant reaction to that is, but you're honest, which makes you infinitely more trustworthy than everybody else on this planet, like literally everyone else here. Let's talk face huggers. How many face huggers were there? Because I don't know if they forgot the law of Alien that once a face hugger's impregnated you, it falls off and dies, or there's a script where there was multiple face huggers, and somewhere in the mix it just got lost because Sigourney Weaver gets impregnated in her pod. We find out later in the movie that she's carrying a queen, and then there's other people who get impregnated by a face hugger too. But there's only one face hugger, and I've never really noticed it before. But this time I'm sat there going, "Oh, is there another face hugger running around? Like, what's going on? Because that one should have died."
It is a problem. I do believe, and I can't remember what it was. I watched a few YouTube videos about the pre-production, and I do believe in one of the scripts there was 2 eggs.
Yeah.
And I hope that but the problem with that is that that's fantastic that there was a script with 2 eggs, but we need to know that as the audience, because we know that these things die when they drop off, they die. So you need to convey that to us. And that's one of those things that, they really didn't sort of land with. They forgot to inform us of certain things. Yeah.
No, they're on a planet full of horrible men who have done nothing but violate men and women, which is why they're there. They have a creature on that planet that literally violates people before it kills them. At what point did they go, let's not do that? Because that for me would have been, if you've got all of these prisoners, and like especially the ones who go after Ripley, if they went after Ripley and she escaped, and then a face hugger forced itself on them, as an audience member, that for me is like, that's poetic justice. Like, you tried and now you're the one that's getting face humped by a face hugger. You deserve that.
That would have been quite poetic. Yeah, they really did miss an opportunity there, because when it I'm just trying to think. Oh, because in the assembly cut it's an ox, isn't it? Not the dog. Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that's the bit I got that all mixed up. I liked the ox one actually, although I do get why they did it with the dog, but because it's quite a small little xenomorph. It's kind of cute. I mean, I don't know. I think it's cute. It runs on all 4s. It's like a little puppy.
Yeah, and this is the first one where they really dive into the lore of, look, when a xenomorph or when a face hugger impregnates, that xenomorph then takes on some elements of whatever creature that is.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. I do have questions of how the face hugger managed to get a good sort of suction on a jaw that's very long. I'm curious how that. I would like to have seen the face hugger on the dog to see
Yeah.
how that physically, because the mouthpiece on a face hugger is very vulvic, I think is the word I'm looking for.
That's the right word. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how it would have worked with a Rottweiler. I don't know how it would have worked with an ox either, actually, now that I think about it. But
No,
I guess we don't need to. But yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. It is interesting because I guess we've only seen them impregnate humans. So they've come out in human form.
yeah.
It was an interesting little path to take. I like that.
Yeah, and I like it. And you're right, like the xenomorph is very different. It's a lot smaller. Like its little back legs make me chuckle because when it runs, it does look a little bit like a chihuahua.
Yeah. It runs. It's really goofy how it runs. But I love it. I mean, I'd absolutely have a heart attack if I came across it in a dark alley, but I think it's very cute on screen how it just kind of bounces around and
it is very much like when it chases people, it's very much like an excited puppy. If you like hype a puppy up and run away and it chases you, it's got that kind of energy. And I don't know, maybe you turn around and like pet it, see if it's okay.
Give it a try. At that point, what have you got to lose? Just try and pat the little dog morph.
Exactly that. You've also got the costume element of this. So there's a CGI element that doesn't look all that great, but you've also got the practical effects side of this, which I think the practical effects look good in this. I don't think it's any worse than what we got in Alien or Aliens. And some of the shots, especially of the xenomorph head and the hands, I think look fantastic.
Yeah. I like the bit where the guy, you know, when Andrews, the head guy who's a real dick, he gets pulled up into the, and then the guy's mopping and he's like he's looking up trying to make sure he doesn't get taken as well. I would just leave the blood, honestly. I'd be like, I'm not cleaning that. It can stay, you know.
That bit's fantastic as well, because this is after Ripley has told them that there's an alien on the ship, it's going to kill everybody, and he goes into effectively the canteen and goes, look, there's some rumors going around that there might be an alien. Like it's just made up. This is never going to happen. You're
Rumor
completely
control.
safe. Yeah, nothing can get you in here. And as he says that, these two hands just literally rip him from the floor straight up into the ceiling. And also, like in this point, every single member of the prison goes, well, what do we do now? Like this is the guy who's told us what we're doing for the last 25 years. We don't have a plan. Who's in charge? And I like this kind of dynamic of working out who is now the boss and the suggestion of Ellen Ripley taking over. I think that's a really cool dynamic to explore.
Yeah, and I think it's good that they don't fuck about and they just go, well, clearly she was right and clearly she's dealt with these things before. Because I know in Aliens, when they're doing the whole, okay, who's in charge now, and they're trying to work out, you know, there's a lot of bit of a pissing contest, I guess, leading up to all that and working out who's going to be in charge. But this time it's like, okay, we need someone to guide us, you know?
Yeah, there's only one guy who kind of gets really up in Ripley's face and he gets a bit aggressive. And I love the way that Sigourney Weaver plays this, because this guy is really going at her and she looks at him the same way that a tiger would look at a yapping dog. She's aware that he's there, but gives zero fucks because he is literally no threat to her whatsoever. And the look on her face of like pure disgust. I think at one point she even eye rolls at him. I'm like, that's amazing. You've made this guy look like this big. He's like an inch tall now. It's so well done.
Yeah, I mean, she's seen some shit in the last few months, years, weeks, whatever we're at. It's very hard to figure out how time goes on this trajectory, but yeah, she's not going to be fazed by some little doofus on a planet. And I think Golic is probably the other person who, it's not Golic who gets in her face, is it? No. Did you know that he was the 8th Doctor, the guy that plays Golic?
Was he really?
Paul McGann. He was only in the TV movie.
Oh, okay.
He was only very briefly, and because when they've all got their heads shaved and they're covered in soot, it's very hard to recognize them, except Pete Postlethwaite. He stands out. And but I looked on his Wikipedia or whatever and went, oh yeah, that is him. It's definitely, there. That was a
Yeah,
nice little find.
you saying about the shaved heads. So
Mhm.
they gave themselves a nickname of skinheads in space when they were filming this, and that's because when they weren't filming and they would go out to local bars and restaurants,
Oh,
everyone
no.
was terrified of them.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, no.
Yeah, just this, because most of them are fairly big, physically strong
Mm,
guys, and
yeah,
they're coming in after filming, probably still dirty with makeup on, with a skinhead walking into a bar in London. The
yeah,
barman must be going, "Oh my god, we're in trouble. This is
yeah.
gonna kick off."
Yeah, some of them do look pretty rough. Like, I would be nervous too. I'd be like, I don't like to judge a book by its cover, but in this case, I might. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would have been very interesting for them because it was filmed at the same studio as the other two, was it?
yeah.
As
So
yeah.
they filmed they filmed the first part of this at Pinewood, and
Mhm.
then they were going massively over budget, so they moved it back to LA to film the end of this movie.
Right.
Part of the reason they were going over budget is they spent $7 million on sets they never used. Like that
Is that
never
from script changes? Like,
Yeah, so
yeah.
they when they were first getting into this, they had a working script and they were starting to build sets to that. They then
Mhm.
changed the script and basically scrapped all of those sets, never used them. But even while they were filming, they were still getting rewrites. So
Mhm.
they would build a set, film, actually shoot the scenes, and then find out the following day that it had been cut and it was no longer in the script. And
Oh,
there's apparently hours and hours and hours of footage of varying different screen variants that never will see the light of day because they just binned them all off. But yeah, $7 million on sets that never got seen.
and $7 million back in 1991, 92. That's not good. I wonder who took the fall for that. Did that come on Fincher? Or surely not, because he didn't write it and he didn't make that decision, did he?
No, that wasn't on him, but
Because he seems
bore
like a bit of a scapegoat for it, you know?
massively so. The studio did very much go, "What did you do?" To the point that David Fincher disowned the movie. So like he walked out before it was finished and went, so it was
Well,
finished.
shit.
He walked out in editing and went, "I'm
Mhm.
done."
Right.
Apparently, he was told, "You'll never work in Hollywood again." That didn't work out very well for the studio.
No, it did not, because he did work again and he did wonderful things. And this is
It,
the wonderful thing. I think the studio made a big mistake because if they'd supported him more, it would have been even better. But,
it,
you know,
it, if they'd have given him the option to actually work the script how a normal director would, we would have had a very different movie.
yeah.
And I think the problem is, like, David Fincher's going to be sat there going, "Well, that doesn't make any sense. Why are we doing that?" And he's questioning the studio, and the studio, because he's a new director, are very much going, "Just do as you're told. Like, we hired you because you're new and we can control and mold you." And Fincher just didn't let them. He battled
Yeah.
every second all the way through this. And I applaud him for that, because had he just done as he was told, followed
Mm.
all the way through, released it and supported it, I don't know if I would have held him with as much respect as I do for him going, "Do you know what? You ruined it. It's your fault. I want nothing to do with you." Like, even now, he won't pass comment on it.
Mhm.
The assembly cut is called the assembly cut because it's effectively the director's cut, but Fincher wouldn't put his name to it,
Mhm.
which, again, wild.
Yeah, I mean, the assembly cut definitely, it's what, like 30 minutes longer or so?
Yeah.
It's definitely a better movie, but I think it is really worth watching them both, especially, the ending where there's the big difference in the ending. I mean, it's the same outcome, but the formation and what happens, is, I think, interesting, and both should be watched.
Yeah, funnily enough, me and Mark were talking before this episode, going,
Mhm.
"Look, I just watched Alien 3." He's like, "Which one did you watch?" I was like, "I watched the theatrical cut." He's like, "Well, I
Mhm.
watched the assembly cut." I was like, "Oh,
Ah,
I'll watch the assembly cut then." So I watched the assembly cut, and then he watched the theatrical cut. And he's like, "We're covered now. Whichever one Kate watches," like, Kate will watch both. I guarantee you, Kate will watch both of
yeah.
these. Um, there's some really cool concepts in here, like having no weapons makes
Mm,
this so much more dangerous. So the first Alien movie, they had weapons, Aliens, they had the full ass like Marines. They had
Yeah.
every weapon, and in this, it's like this is going to be just like, where do you keep your weapons? They're like, I'm sorry, man, we're a prison planet. We don't have weapons. It's like,
Mm.
oh no, which that leads us into this more inventive ending, like
Mhm.
how do you deal with something that you can't really kill because you have nothing to kill it with? And I like their thinking here, how they get to where they get to.
Yeah, they're very creative, and it's Ripley. I mean, I didn't know actually until researching for this that Sigourney Weaver had said, "I don't want guns to be in this movie." I just thought that they just well, we obviously wouldn't have guns on a prison planet because that wouldn't work. And there's only like 3 people in charge, and then everyone else is a inmate. So, because we've got what 85, the Doctor, and Andrews, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she has to use her, tell me about this place. What have we got? What can we use? And they come up with this really ingenious plan. And I think that adds a lot to the tension as well, because you've got that POV shots of the alien chasing them through and it can run up on the ceiling, and that is quite creepy. Those shots, I think they're quite scary.
I love the POV shots when it's coming down. You're like, oh, he's going to get him, and then it literally you see it go up the wall and onto the ceiling. You're like, oh wow, and then it will do like a full jump flip back to the floor as it comes down to get them. And I like the concept of being able to use these tunnels where they're mining this ore from the waste that Weyland-Yutani have sent them, and being able to go, right, we can actually get it in here, we can trap it. It's going to need all of us to work together to close doors systematically to pin it where we need it.
Yeah.
And then we can just dump molten metal on it and kill it. I think is such a clever idea. The only problem is whenever you've got a plan this complicated and so many people involved, as soon as they started, even on the first watch, I'm like, this is going to go wrong. Like there is too many people in this team who don't know what they're doing, are terrified, or are just plain stupid, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, there's some pretty low IQs at work, and that's okay. Not everyone has to be smart, but in this situation, you kind of need them to have a robust set of nerves and to also understand the plan and be willing to stick to it. Because if one person bows out, the whole thing doesn't work, So.
Yeah, which is pretty much what happens. Like the first person or one person gets got, and that door doesn't get closed. The second one, the door doesn't work properly, and after that, it's like, oh, this has all gone horribly wrong now. Like there's no redeeming this now. You're in trouble. What do you think on Ripley being impregnated? Because normally when we get a facehugger impregnate someone, it's a very quick process from facehugger to chestburster to xenomorph, where she carries this for literally she carries it to term. She has a full ass pregnancy in this movie.
She does. It's very sad because we love Ripley and we don't want to see her harmed. So Sigourney Weaver did give the condition that I have to die at the end of this movie, and as well as I want an executive producer credit and a lot of money. I think it's interesting how they do it, because he talks, the doctor talks about how you must be feeling sick from coming out of hibernation or whatever it's called so quickly. And we think, oh, she's just feeling sick. And then she starts to cough and you're like, oh no, what? That's not a good sign. That's what the guy was doing in Alien, and then he died. And, I think they tease it really well, and you're starting to get very nervous because we love her so much. I think it's pretty genius, actually, that because it means that she's kind of untouchable. The alien's she knows it's not going to kill her while she's gestating. So,
and the realization when she has that moment where she's like, because it kills the doctor in the infirmary area, and it's like it literally does, like the inner mouth of the alien in this movie is lethal. So it pops out, pops a hole straight through his head, and he's dead. And then it doesn't attack her. At that moment when she had the realization that it's not going to hurt her, I'm like, kill it, attack it with the axe. But she doesn't. She runs off to tell everyone, oh, by the way, the xenomorph won't get me.
Yeah. And Golic thinks it's a dragon. He's like, oh, I saw the dragon. The bit where he's like, I saw a dragon in the tunnel, and Ripley's like,
There wasn't a dragon, bless you. There wasn't a dragon.
Yes, I can see why in your condition you thought it might be a dragon, but it's not a dragon.
It's not.
Yeah. Although that's kind of a full circle moment because Tywin Lannister, he's seen a dragon. Oh no, did he see a dragon? Anyway, dragons are in that show, so there you go.
I think he did. Did a dragon not attack his camp at one point in Game of Thrones? I'm sure it did.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched that. Yeah, I'd like to think that he saw a dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he's genuinely a nice guy, and it's a testament to how good an actor he is that it's to Game of Thrones. Like, I hate him with a passion.
He's horrible in that show, and yeah, he's really cruel. And in this, he's just so warm, and his presence is very comforting and reassuring for her. So yeah, that's twice she's met a lovely man twice, and they've been snatched from her. It's not fair.
Yeah, they do Ripley dirty in every single movie. They're like, we're going to give you a love. No, we're not, and we take it away.
We dangle this handsome man in front of you, and then take him away.
At least she managed to have sex with this one before they killed him, which is unheard of for Ripley. Normally, she doesn't.
That's true. Although I think they were all boffing on the Nostromo. Everyone was, except Ash. No one had time with Ash. Thank God. Because can you imagine if you had and then that happened and you're like, yeah, I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, it's been a while for Ripley, and I think it's really good that she got to have her fun. She deserves it.
I agree, completely agree. I also like in this way the lack of this is another testament to Charles Dance's character. Like, Ripley gives him no reason to trust her whatsoever. Like, she doesn't tell them what's going on. And when he's like, well, unfortunately, the girl and the man you were with have both died. She's like, I need to see the bodies. He's like, no. She's like, I need to see the bodies. There's a deadly disease that's possible. He's like, what disease? She's like, cholera.
Yeah, because that's been around for a while.
He literally says, we haven't had a case of cholera in 200 years. She's like, I know.
That's right.
That's why it's so dangerous. We must go now. And like, even down to the fact that he's like, there, you've seen the body. She's like, we need to do an autopsy. And he's like, do we? She's like, yes, we really do. And she makes him go through it, which I'll say in the assembly cut, that is a lot longer. That scene's a lot longer and a lot better done. But in this, like, he still goes through all of the motions. And the one thing I will ask that is, I don't know why Ripley got him to check like literally everywhere else. Like, face huggers impregnate in the chest, and like, it's open the belly. Like, no, just like open the chest. Is there a face hugger? Is there a xenomorph? No, there's not. Let's move on. But yeah, it's like it's like she was a frog in a science class for this scene.
That's true, actually, because although they didn't really need to do an autopsy either, because they could have done the scan like Ripley does.
Yeah.
Because does she go back to her ship for that? Or is that there? I can't remember.
She goes back to her ship for her.
That's right, because when she picks up Bishop, and we do need to talk about when she connects Bishop. That's amazing. That's right. She could have just scanned Newt, but I guess it wouldn't have been gruesome enough. We needed to have an autopsy scene, I guess.
Yeah, and the autopsy scene's really uncomfortable. I find autopsy scenes in general, I find them quite uncomfortable to watch. Like an autopsy of Jane Doe, like that movie's like, oh God, this is awful.
Yeah.
But then for it to be a child makes it even worse for me. That's like, oh, this is not just disgusting, but it's also sad. I don't like.
And it's a child that we are fond of. I mean, Newt. I think some people found her a little bit pretentious and a little bit annoying. I thought Newt was adorable. And, she gave us the fantastic mostly thing. And, we quote that all the time. So I think, Newt's a great little character. So to think of that happening, it's very sad.
Yeah, I really like Newt. There's some fan fiction I've read where Newt, in an alternate universe where Newt survives, where she goes on to effectively be like Ellen Ripley. And she like takes Ellen as her inspiration, and she becomes this effectively xenomorph hunter. I've read a couple of little fan fictions on that, and I'm like, I like this a lot. I like
that's a great idea. Actually, there's also an audiobook version of Eric. Someone's script for Alien 3, one of the early scripts. They turned it into an audiobook that you can
That's the one where Hicks survives.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And I think because I wanted to listen to Alien Phalanx because Greg was telling me about that, but I'm going to look for that one as well. I'm trying to get into audiobooks. It's not really working, but I'm trying really hard to start listening to audiobooks. So yeah, I might try that one.
I really struggle with audiobooks, and I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. I tried one a little while ago, and I started to get into it, and then they introduced a character, and I didn't
Mhm.
like their voice, and it really got, like, grated on me. I'm like, "No, I'm done now," and I just stopped. It was a really good book, and I was just like, "No, I don't like you," and it's not like on screen where I'm going, "Ah, your voice is really annoying," but, like,
Mhm.
you have character attributes that I'm looking at, like, you've got, like, a really weird eye or whatever it is. Like, there was nothing to hook me to that character. I just lost
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah, I find if it's a book that I've already read, I can focus enough. Like, I was listening to Kate Winslet narrate The Faraway Tree, which is incredibly juvenile of me because it is a children's book, but I love it. And also The Exorcist. I was listening to the audiobook, scared the shit out of myself. I had to turn it off because I've read the book and it absolutely terrified me. And then I started listening to it like a moron and thought, I can't even, it's so scary. So yeah. And if I've read it already, it's probably okay. But if it's something new, yeah, I can't do it. I will
Yeah.
get there.
Let's talk about Bishop then.
Mm.
There is a point where she literally picks Bishop up, slings it in a backpack, and all that went through my head was Chewbacca and C-3PO.
Yes.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
She's like, the fact she picks up like the top part of his torso, but she picks up a random arm as well and like
Yeah.
slings it in a bag. I'm like, oh, come on. Why are we doing this? Poor Bishop.
It is like that. That is so good. Yeah, I love that scene with because I really like Bishop. He's and it's so well done. And they made that replica without taking a cast of
Oh,
what's the
wow.
actor's name? Oh, I
Lance
can't think.
Henriksen.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Oh, mental blank. Yeah, they did it without even and it looks like him. I think it looks perfect. And
Yeah.
he's still a bit cheeky, like my legs hurt, you know. I love Bishop.
I like that he does my legs hurt, but he also explains obviously there was an alien life form on the ship.
Yeah.
And then after he's done, he's like, he basically goes, anyway, now I've given you all that information, kill me.
Yeah.
Because this is not how I want to be. Please kill
Yeah,
me.
I'm not looking my best. Can you please end it? Terrible.
I have had better days than right now. So if you could like disconnect my head and torso.
Yeah. But she
but
doesn't
again-
even say goodbye to him. She just goes and it's
Yeah.
like you could have said thank you for crawling through that scary ass tunnel and bringing the ship. Like that was really solid of you because I didn't want to do that. No, she just very emotional. I mean, lacking in emotion. I just thought a thank you or a goodbye would have been warranted in that instance.
I think at this point Ripley's kind of over everything. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she's well and truly over it.
she's very much
had
like
a bad week.
I'm done. Like I've been impregnated by an alien. I've lost 2 loves this week. I'm on a
Yeah.
prison planet full of rapists and pedophiles. I am
Had to
not
shave my
having
head.
they paid her a fortune to shave her head as well.
She does look great with a shaved head, I have to say. It suits her. She's a beautiful woman.
She really is. And I think shaving the head works because it allows her to be like within the story, it works because it allows her to be less feminine for the prisoners, which they then equate her as like almost like one of the guys. And there's a
Yeah.
shift from when she shaves her head in the characters that you can see, and I like that.
Yeah, her looking androgynous, I think also, yeah, you're right. It doesn't make her stand out, and it does make her look a lot tougher too.
Yeah.
But Charles Dance, I mean Clemens, he's pretty into it as well because she has a shaved head when they're together, so he thinks she looks pretty.
Yeah, I have no issue with the woman with the shaved head. I think she looks great.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did need to do reshoots on this, and they offered Sigourney Weaver $40,000 to shave her head again, which she declined because her daughter didn't like it. It scared her. So instead, they spent $16,000 on a bald cap to do reshoots.
Wow. Do you want to hear an interesting side story about shaved heads?
Yeah.
So you know how Patrick was a war boy and he did the shaved head thing for that, my son.
Yeah.
So he actually got called in to do a few days with George Miller to be Anya Taylor-Joy's head double because she
Okay.
didn't want to shave her head again. So on the poster, the head part that you see is Patrick's head. And yeah, he got
wow.
to do a day or two with George Miller. And yeah, thankfully his hair, he's got really thick curly hair. So thankfully it grew back perfectly. I was a bit nervous. I thought, oh, the curls might not come back because he had to shave his head right down about 4 or 5 times. But yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't blame her. It takes a long time for it to grow back. And yeah, I can see why she was like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, the thing is, like, when I've shaven my head before, and when it grows back, it just like anyone who shaved their head, when it grows back, it just grows like out for a certain
Yeah.
amount of time. You end up looking roughly like a microphone for a period of time before you can do anything with
Oh,
it.
that's good.
And then you've got people like Mark who shaved his head once and it's never come back.
No. Well, yeah, see, that's a nerve-wracking thing. What if it doesn't?
I'm of an age now where I could shave mine and it may not come back, so I'm never going to take that risk ever.
Yeah, I've never shaved my head, and I don't know that I would be able to pull it off. But yeah, all power to people that can pull it off, and it looks good on them. But probably not
Yeah.
for me. But it'd be a lot easier though. God, it'd be saving a lot of time. But yeah, I think she looks good, and I'm glad. You're right. I'm glad they did it because I think it does make her sort of one of the team. You know, when they're all working together as well.
Yeah, I do as well. How do you feel about the ending of this? So Wayland Yutani arrive with Lance Henriksen, who we get a brief explanation that he designed the original bishop, which doesn't stack up timeline wise. And I'm not even going to bring up the fact that bishop was designed a couple of 100 years ago, but Lance Henriksen's actually a man. I'm like, we'll just say you're a synthetic because that works better for me. But them turning up and Sigourney Weaver doing the like over the let's be honest, over the volcano, because as much as this is meant to be a smelting plant, they literally just used the backdrop of Mount Doom.
Yeah, I think it's very dramatic, and I think it's a good way. I mean, they would have had a difficult time with her insisting that, okay, you have to kill this character.
Yeah.
And then she does come back anyway. But the idea of having to come up with a way to kill her that will be satisfying and do justice for her character is a challenge. So I actually think what they did was very smart. And I like that she basically says, well, she's going to go the same way that Hicks and Newt went. And it is very dramatic. Both of them, where she's got her arms out like a cross with the whole religious iconography. And then in the is it the assembly cut where the assembly cut is the arms out. Yeah. And the theatrical version is the chest burster comes out and she's kind of like holding on to it.
See, I really like the chest burster coming out and she literally grabs hold of it and like,
yeah, you're coming with me.
You're coming with me. Like that for me is really powerful because a chest buster's gonna hurt like hell. Like that, you're not surviving that for a start, but to have the wherewithal to go, no, you can't leave, you must fall with me is great. I do like the visuals in the assembly cut with the falling. The thing, every time you get this sort of anything around fire where someone sacrifices themselves, you have to have an alto and a soprano just chanting Latin. It seems to be a thing. Like, in this scene, you've got ha 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 ha. It's like, come on, again.
They're a little choir. They turn up wherever there's going to be lava or hot magma and death. The little choir turns up and starts their chanting.
Yes, yeah, if you visit a volcano and there's a choir there, probably leave.
Run. Yes. Get out. You're right, actually. It is very dramatic. Yeah, I don't know which one I prefer, whether I like the arms out. I think I like the chest burster coming out. And it is pretty, I mean, the timing was impeccable, really. It was all very dramatic and timed very well because, you know, what were the chances that he was going to pop out at exactly that time? Or she, whichever the case. Do they have genders? I don't know. I don't think they do.
No, I think technically they're like bees. So they're all potentially the queen. So at some point, a queen is going to die and a new one will be fed the nectar to become the next queen, I think, is kind of I think every xenomorph is effectively a queen,
Mhm.
or the potential, the lineage to be a queen.
Right.
I think.
God, it's confusing. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, but you know, I like the chestburster coming out. It is she's so brave, and you know, she sacrifices herself. I mean, she was pretty screwed anyway, but you know, yeah. It's good.
Yeah, and it's a good conclusion to her storyline. And the fact that Sigourney Weaver didn't want to come back, she's like, no, I'm done. You must kill this character off. Only for a couple of years later to go, how much money did you say? Oh, 100%. Yeah, bring me back. How are you bringing me back? Cloning. Fad. Yep, great. What, my DNA wasn't destroyed in the lava? Okay, perfect. I buy it. I'm in.
What were the odds of it not being destroyed? Yeah, she must have left some behind somewhere.
Yeah. But again, I like the fact that they come in, they kind of mop up, like everyone else on this prison planet is dead. Exactly what she said. Like, they're going to get here. They care nothing about you. They just want me and the xenomorph, and you're all going to die. And all of that coming true. I think it's a really well put together concept that was delivered by Fincher as best as is humanly possible, given the fact that the studio insisted on changing things every 8 minutes.
Yeah, you can only put so much glitter on a turd, but I think he did a really good job with, you know, what he had. And I am kind of surprised that they left. Is it Grigor, the last one, the last guy standing? That it's not Golik, is it? Golik dies.
No, Golik dies.
So Grigor is the one, and they actually let him live. Like, they took him with them. I thought they would have just dispensed of him.
Yeah,
but yes.
The stupid thing is, like, he's one of the characters who earlier in the movie tries to force himself on Ripley. And his character arc is fucking wild to go from he's the most one of the most dangerous people on the planet to trying to have his way with Ripley by force to then being the one that's like, I will get you out across this lava. I believe in you. Let's do this. I'm like, that's an arc and a half. And I don't know if I feel sorry for him at any point. Like, I would have been quite happy if Ripley had grabbed his ankle and taken him with her.
Yeah, thanks for trying to rape me, dickhead, and then tripped him into the lava. Yeah,
exactly.
I wouldn't have blamed her because she was not having any of it. Like, yeah, if she's not saying goodbye to Bishop, she's certainly not putting up with his shit. I can tell you that. No, yeah, maybe she was feeling more tolerant because she knew she was about to die. I don't know. But it is weird seeing Bishop not as Bishop.
Yeah, it's the same though. It's one of the Alien versus Predator movies where Lance Hendrickson is in that as a man as well, where they're going down. Yeah, and in that I'm going. The first time I watched that, it's Bishop. Oh, it's not Bishop, but it is. It's Bishop. What are you doing?
Yeah.
We're going to round this review off, but I'm going to round it off with instead of giving you a bit of a roundup, I'm actually going to give you a fact that blew my mind. So David Fincher admitted that in 1992 there were LA riots, and they were very close to where the film's negatives were being stored. He secretly hoped that the building would burn to the ground and the film along with it, so it didn't have to see the light of day.
That poor beautiful man. He had such a hard time. Oh, I just want to give him a hug.
I'm going to keep my score as it was. I'm going to keep this a 3.5 out of 5. Are you going to stick at a 4, or are you going to bump your score up?
I'm going to stick with 4 because I do generally score things on how much I love them and how much joy they bring, not so much about technical things, because I'm not a movie maker. I don't think it's right for me to judge on technical stuff alone. So I'm going to stick with 4 because I do have a lot of love for this movie, and what it lacks in some areas, I think it more than makes up for in others. And I hope people will go and revisit it.
Yeah, I think people should go revisit it. And you're right, like what it lacks in continuity and lore building and storytelling, it makes up for with character performances, with the overall narrative. Like, I think there's so much good in this movie that's overshadowed by a couple of little mistakes, and I really enjoy it. And I think going in knowing all of the facts behind it makes it a different watch as well. When you know that David Fincher like run away with Sigourney Weaver to shoot that shot that is now iconic, when you know that he battled for every single thing that he got in the film. And at one point, this was going to be on a wooden planet with monks. There was another version of this where it was a prison planet, but the prisoners were just out to get Ripley. Like, she turns up and they're instantly hostile. I think being able to pull everything together and give us something that was even watchable is a massive achievement.
Absolutely. And when you do look into how much drama there was and had 6,000 different script edits, it's actually a miracle that it came out as well as it did. And I mean, as some people would think that there's, I think a lot of the Alien movies tend to get criticized for having, fan service or whatever, but you know what? I'm a fan. Service me. I don't mind. I'm okay with it. So yeah, no, I think I really would love for, and like I said earlier, if people walk away and go, no, it's just definitely not for me, I don't like it, I totally get that. But I do think there'd be a lot of people who might revisit it and go, actually, yeah, no, it's because I wasn't that sold on it the first time I saw it. And then I've really grown to love it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, you and me have spoken about this off air in messages. There's a lot of people who just follow the pack. So a couple of big critics or big accounts go, this movie's terrible. And then everyone just follows along behind going, yeah, I hate this. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you probably haven't even watched it. And I hate this, like, oh, well, that person says it's bad, therefore it's bad. Like, no, watch it for yourself. Make your own opinion. Be like me, champion Halloween Resurrection at the hatred of everybody. Like, do
Jaws
that.
3D. Jaws 3D is amazing. Like, yeah. See, I notoriously do like some pretty shitty movies, but this one I think is unfairly classed as shitty. Like, Jaws 3D is shitty, but I still love it. This is actually really good, and I love it.
I agree. Unfortunately, Kate, it is now time for this.
What I earn in one hand, burning from the other. Every right answer rips another from my cover. I keep winning pieces I can't keep together. Bleed for the scoreboard, lose myself forever. Meltdown!
So you are the first real live guest to take on our new quiz Meltdown. There are 10 horror movie related questions. Everyone you get correct, you get 10 points. If you get one incorrect or you pass, you lose 15 points.
Okay.
So the idea is to leave with positive points. Marc was the first person to try this. He left with 20. I think he left with 20, but I had a message to say, you can't do maths. It was 25. So I'm going to give Marc the benefit of the doubt, and Dave B. Movies, who corrected my math skills. And I'm going to say Marc has 25 points. So these start very easy. In fact, no, there's a mixture. There's a mixture of really easy and really hard in here.
Okay. I'm a little bit nervous because I tend to lose all thought capacity when I'm getting quizzed on something, and then I look like an idiot. So I don't know, this could go either way, but I think the fact that I'm technically your boss means that I should get some clues. I don't know. That's just my thought.
There may be some assistance throughout.
Okay. We don't want too much. You could just type me a message or something so no one else sees it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I do want to see how I go.
And I definitely don't want to hear this after we've recorded.
You're gone. Fired. Out of here. Ain't nothing I can do for you.
So
I do enjoy the episodes a bit too much to fire you, but we'll see how we go.
Let's kick off with number one. What year was Alien 3 released?
At the movies? At the cinema?
Yeah.
1992.
That's correct. There you go. 10 points. Nice, easy start. Question number two. What Spanish horror movie is directed by Juan Antonio Banea and produced by Guillermo del Toro, set in a children's home?
Oh, shit. Does it start with an O?
It does.
O? Is it The Orphanage?
That's correct. 20 points. You're flying. Doing really well.
Don't jinx it.
Question number three. What is the name of the killer who possesses Chucky, the doll, in the Child's Play franchise?
Charles Lee Ray.
That's correct. 30 points. You
I have the
really
same
are.
birthday as Brad Dourif too, so I'd better
Yeah.
get that right.
You're flying through. Who directed the 2022? I can't even speak. Who directed the 2022 film Nope?
Oh, oh God, I can picture him. Oh shit, what's his name? Oh my God, what is his name? That is, people are just screaming at this. At the,
They really are.
hang on. He did Us and Jordan Peele.
That's correct. 40
Sorry,
points.
everyone. I'm really nervous. Oh my God.
I'm nervous because you've got all of them right so far, and it worries me that this quiz is going to get beaten on the first guest that takes it on.
Oh, trust me. My luck's going to run out soon, I can tell.
What is the tagline from the 1986 movie The Fly?
Oh, I'm trying not to do dead air because Marc will be going, stop it. But God, I know that. I was looking at that. I was reading about The Fly the other day. How many words in the sentence would I be able to ask that?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Does it start with a B?
It does.
Be afraid, be very afraid.
That's correct. 50 points. Fuck, this quiz is getting smashed.
I couldn't tell if it was, because I know she says that, but I wasn't sure if that was actually the tagline. I had that in my head and I thought, is that the tagline? Sorry, continue.
Yeah, you do really well. Like really well, like concerningly well. What horror film kills a character by smashing them into an invisible wall on a dirt bike?
Oh, Cabin in the Woods.
That's correct. 60 points. I'm really concerned now.
No, I watched it recently. I rewatched it.
Did you?
I do actually really like that movie, but yeah.
I really like that movie. How many people does Jason Voorhees kill in the original Friday the 13th movie?
Well, Jason or his mum? Because Jason, well, does he kill her at the end when he pulls her into the lake? Because we don't see her die.
That's the question I'm asking you. How many does he
Well,
kill?
I don't know the logic behind your question. On-screen deaths for Jason?
Yeah.
Actual Jason? I would say none.
That's correct. Because the girl who he drags into the lake starts in the second one. So
yeah.
Okay, you have 3 questions to go and are potentially on for a perfect score straight away. You're on 70 points. Question number 8. What is the name of the camp in Sleepaway Camp?
Oh, shit. My God, I just listened to an episode about that. I'm going to get this run. I can't remember. I really cannot. Oh God. It's going to really piss me off too, because I know it and I can't think of it. I'm going to, I don't know, Camp Death. It's not that. I just had to say a word, so you'll give me the answer.
Okay, so you lost 15 points for that, so that puts you on 55.
It's your fault
points.
because you said it. I blame you for that, man.
The answer is Camp Arawak.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. In it, what is the name of Georgie's boat?
Oh my God, I just reread this. Oh, I can see it. I can picture it, and I can't. I can't think of it.
Can you take a guess?
You jinxed me?
No, it was the SS Georgie. Take you down to 40 points. You're still top of the leaderboard, though. This quiz.
Oh, I bet he's done. Or actually, no. I guess Marc did it. So yeah, I'm not the only person.
No, you're not the only person. This quiz is brutal. Like I said to Marc when we put this quiz together, you could fly through and get loads right and then literally lose everything, or you could start in minus figures and work your way up to 0. Last question. This is one that if you don't get it, I think you really will kick yourself. So what 2007 David Fincher film stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., Brian Cox, and Mark Ruffalo?
That would be Zodiac.
That's correct. That puts you on 55 points. So you are top of the leaderboard. And I think that's going to be a score that's going to stand for a while. I think you're going to see a lot of people go
Yay.
past you and then their minus scores drag them back below you.
Kind of
So-
like what I just did.
Yeah. You were literally on for perfect score and I rumbled you with
Yeah.
2 questions.
That's all right. And you know what I did, and what annoys me is that I actually did know both of them, but I couldn't. And I know people say that I already knew that, but I could picture them and I could not verbalize them. Damn it! They were good
That-
questions though. They're a nice little mix of hard and easy.
The thing
Not
is,
easy.
like, there's questions that people consider easy. Like, there's questions that I'll ask, and we've done it on the show for years. You'll ask a question, and it's the most basic horror question, and if you don't know it, you don't know it. We've had people who've gone, and we're sort of going, this is question 1. This is the easiest question here, and they don't get it, and then they get further through, and they'll do a question that's like the most complex, like what happened at this exact timestamp in a movie, and they're like, oh, it's that. I think it's like movie trivia is just based on purely on what you know.
And it's the fear of looking like an absolute dickhead, I think, is what stops your brain from working. And I think sometimes people get the impression that you know about something and you're like, oh, no, I don't. I actually randomly knew the scientific name for a chicken once in trivia.
Oh,
And
really?
then people got the impression that I knew a lot of shit. And I was like, no, I actually don't know a lot of shit, but I did know the scientific name for a chicken. Yeah. And the reasoning why is long. I won't bore you with it.
Okay.
But yeah, you can give people the impression that you're going to do really well, or be so scared that you're going to look like a moron that your brain stops functioning. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
feel
I've
like I did
quizzed,
okay. That wasn't too bad.
you've done really, really well. Really, really well. Really impressed. Yeah, I've done quizzes before. I've gone on shows before who've then hit me with surprise quizzes, and I've done dreadfully. Like, I went on the Girl and the Gay podcast,
Mhm.
and they pulled a quiz out of nowhere, and I think I scored 2 out of 10. Like, it was awful, and it was all stuff that, like, genuinely, like, when they say the answer, I'm like, oh God, how did I not know that? I did know that, and I just couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
Let's do 3-word review. So we have one enthusiastic horror fan official, underappreciated gem. I'd agree
Ah,
with that.
yeah.
Old and nerdy bastard, slept on movie. Again,
Mhm.
I agree with that. Dave B movies, super sexy Sigourney. Dave likes a bald lady too.
Yeah.
Utter horror Johnny. Use the original script. I actually messaged this guy. I said, which one? which one of the 5 scripts did you want them to use? Flesh control. Why kill Newt? Well, I think we've answered that, because you can't put a child on a paedophile planet and not end up in massive trouble when you go for certification of your movie.
Yeah.
And finally, this one, I've used this one because I think it's a really weird, I think it's a really hot take. Gory Rory Ill, better than Aliens.
That's interesting. I do know a few people who've said it's their favorite one. So there are people. Where would you rank this one personally? Like,
It's kind of middle of the road. It's above all the, it's above Prometheus and Covenant, because I'm not a big fan of those. It probably sits, yeah, it is kind of literally middle in the franchise for me. Like,
Yeah.
below it is the Covenant movies, and Alien versus Predators, they live below it.
But Romulus as well is out there.
Yeah, I think this and Romulus kind of sit almost in the same place. This, Romulus and Alien Resurrection, kind of hold that middle ground, but this sits at the top of those 3.
Right. It's a solid third for me. So I'm Alien. I don't like to compare those two. I think they are very different movies, but as far as my favorite, it's Aliens, then Alien, and then this. And I did really love Romulus though. But I love all of them except Alien versus Predator. But yeah, basically what the point I was making, sorry, is that I've listened to a podcast episode where the person hosting and the person they had on as a guest, I can't remember the name of it. It was a while ago, but this is both their favorite. So yeah, people are there are people out there who, and it kind of makes me happy that there are.
Yeah,
because it deserves it.
Me too, as well. We have no Mark, so the VHS hunt this week is actually going to be done by me. So I guess we'll play the music just so Mark knows how we feel about it.
Let's take a punt on the VHS hunt. I don't care what you say. Mark is not a...
He is this week because he didn't turn up. I'm still waiting for all the voicemails of guesses why Mark is not here. I'll be interested to see what people come up with. But this week, I dug out my DVD copy of Alien 3.
Nice.
Like, this is one that I got really early on when I started collecting. Like the Alien movies as a whole, I've got all of them on individual DVD sat behind me, and I think it's just that hand. Yeah, it's reversed. Just there. No, this side. There.
It's on the left.
That's the Alien quadrilogy. That Marc actually sent me that for Christmas. So I've got that, and I've got all of the Alien movies. The only one I haven't got yet is Romulus, but I plan on purchasing that and adding it to the list, because I think, especially for the Alien movies, physical media is really, really important, because like, on all of these, the amount of special features and bonus footage, like this one has got the normal cut and the assembly cut, and it's also got all of the behind the scenes stuff, and there's a little documentary on there where people are talking about how bad it was.
David Fincher going, it was fucked.
David Fincher is the one person that does not appear on that. Like, he's not at all.
Like, don't put him on camera.
I feel really sorry. Poor David Fincher.
I do too. Oh, the poor man. Sorry to interrupt you. I just thought that was really funny.
Poor David Fincher. We need like a GoFundMe for David Fincher, not for money, just to give him hugs. In fact, give David Fincher the next Alien movie.
Yes, and I actually, because me and Justin just did our first episode, and I talked all about David Fincher, and I actually talked about a movie that I want him to remake on that episode. So, yes, he can do no wrong in my eyes, and I think that, yes, he deserves lots of hugs for this.
Yeah, he's David Fincher is honestly exceptional. Like, just watch, like, pick any of his movies to look at how he directs, but if you want to see how he tells a story, watch Seven. Watch the director's cut of Seven. Like, that is just phenomenal. He's such a good director.
My favorite movie. I actually had my little Chester the Chest Burster around here. Actually, I think he's in this room somewhere, because he made an appearance on an episode recently that hasn't come out yet. I should have grabbed him. Damn. Oh well.
Right. Well, that is the VHS hunt. Do I play the music again? Well, it's kind of a thing now. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
Let's take a punt on the VHS hunt. I don't care what you say. Mark is not.
Mark is a. Right. That is sadly the end of this episode. Kate, huge thank you for coming on. It's lovely to have you on. Like, we speak quite a bit. We speak in messages. We speak on Patreon. You have a genuine interest and support for the show, and I honestly can't thank you enough for everything you've done for us.
Thank you. That's so lovely. I'm really, I'm a huge fan of both of you, even though Mark isn't here to hang out. I'd love to do an episode down the track and join Mark and you, but it has been really fun chatting with you. I was so nervous about the quiz, and I didn't need to be. So anyone who's coming on, don't be too nervous. It's not that bad. But yeah, I'm always so happy to listen to your episodes, and all you work so hard for all of us to be entertained, and it doesn't go unnoticed how much work you both put into it, and we appreciate you very much.
Thank you very much. Is there anything you want to plug or push or discuss before we wrap this one up? This is your chance to basically sell whatever you want. This is your advertising pitch. Go.
Okay, so I am co-host on Pizza Bones, which is the true crime podcast on You Gonna Eat That Crust with Greg and Nate. We just recorded our episode on Dennis Nielsen, which was very fun episode to do. I mean, fun.
What a horrible man Dennis Nielsen was. Oh,
I know, God. We discussed the true life case, and we sort of worked it in with the miniseries, which David Tennant played him
Dude,
perfectly.
phenomenal.
Oh, so good. It's just brilliant. And so our Richard Chase episode came out recently, and we've got an episode with Justin coming up that we're going to record. I'm also doing some episodes on the main feed for You Gonna Eat That Crust. We've got a Simpsons bracket episode coming up. There'll be 5 of us, and it will be complete chaos. I'm very much looking forward to it. And I'm also a co-host on Why We Love with Justin and Kate on the Pop Culture Reflections. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, our first episode just came out recently, and we talked about the films of Stanley Kubrick and David Fincher. Can you tell I really like David Fincher?
I can. Also, like, I'm so interested in your journey from being podcast listener to now multiple podcast host, and like, have you found it addicting? Is that what it is? Because I know when I started, I'd done one and I was like, this is awesome, and then didn't stop.
Yeah, it's interesting because I am not a very confident person as far as like being on camera or having my photo take or any of that. And Justin just reached out because I just supported his podcast and said, do you want to do an episode? And my initial response to him was, oh, thanks so much, but I'm not a podcaster. I'm just a listener and supporter. And he was like, yeah, but you could, and I thought, oh, the reason I said yes, and I've told a few people this story, the timing was just really fortuitous because I had just very recently lectured a friend about trying new things.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to do that thing where I'm going to be a hypocrite. So I thought, you know what? You only live once. I'll give it a go and I'll do an episode. And we did our Britpop episode. And then I thought, oh, that'll be, I didn't actually expect to, it's not something I'd ever kind of considered doing. And then, it's just kind of rolled on from there. So I really enjoy it. And it's, I'm getting more confident. I still feel like an imposter, but I'm feeling less like an imposter every day. And I think that the support that I've had from Justin and Greg and Nate and you and, all the amazing people in the community has really made it a very joyous experience. So, and everyone's been really nice. No one's been mean yet. Not to my face anyway. So, that's good.
Yeah, you are really good at what you do, and I find you, like, when I've listened to you on other shows, I find you really, really interesting to listen to. And you've always got really good points that not everyone else spots. I think you watch films very differently. Well, everyone watches films differently, but you pick up on things that other people miss, and that's what I enjoy about listening to you. As for feeling an imposter, I still feel like an imposter now. Like, I come on and, like, when I get messages, or when we get messages, or when we get like voicemails or stuff like that, I'm like, why do people care? Like, I still now don't get my head around it. And like, I got spotted in the wild not that long ago, and someone recognized me, and I absolutely freaked. I was like, oh, well, it's nice to meet you. Okay, bye now. And I literally sat in my car afterwards going, what just happened? Like, the most surreal thing ever. So I still feel like an imposter now, but you're not, and I'm not, apparently. We are going to be back next week. We have you lot cause chaos. We do program where you get to vote for the movies. The idea is you pick a winner. You tied the finale on a week that Marc had the wild card pick, and despite my every effort to keep this off the show for no other reason but to annoy him, next week we will be covering LL Cool J with his Deepest Bluest as we do Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, yes, I love that movie. Oh my god! Hang on, which one of you like? Do you like it?
I like it. I've tried to keep it off the show because Marc will literally be unbearable. He's going to be like a child.
Oh my god, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting episode. I am pretty sure I will line something up to Marc to take the spark and joy out of his voice, if only for a brief moment. Maybe a quiz, maybe a new quiz. I don't know. I'll think of something. But again, Kate, huge thank you for coming on. Make sure you go and support Kate. Go and support You Gonna Eat That Crust podcast and Pop Culture Reflections and all of the other members of the You Run Podcast Network. And until next time, have a wonderful week, and we will see you all soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
You want to die tonight?
You're on podcast. You're on podcast. Late at night, I tune into
your show, where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in as you pick apart movies on murder and sin. Scott and Marc set the scene. I hang on every word, lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's fucking long round ups. You run podcasts, horror movie reviews, sharing facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after you fled. You run podcasts.
You're gone. Fired. Out of here. Ain't nothing I can do for you.